You are listening to the TakeOver podcast. I am Frank, and with me today we have Jordan Clark, correct?
Yep.
we also have Ray McGuff. And from a multitude of things, we have Trent Boham. And I'm saying your last name correctly, right?
You are one of the few people who actually get it right. Usually I hear Boham, Bowman, you know.
Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to, we haven't done a takeover in a while. I just wanted to shoot the shit with some people. We do have some new podcasts on the channel. One just came out today with the one I'm doing with my wife, Martha. It's Murder Fluent is the name of the show, and it's a true crime thing we're trying out. So we'll see how that goes. I hope people enjoy it. And Trent has a new podcast that's going to be coming out this week. I'm not sure exactly when, but it's called Getting Learnt. And he is portraying a character. What's your character's name?
I don't think. Well, I think I said Jude, but I think it's just going to be Hamster. Just
okay. It's a hamster and a turtle, and they talk about things. They teach you things. They teach each other things. You're getting learned.
Got to get learned, man.
Yeah, it's a unique concept. It'll make more sense once it's out. Once you see what it is.
And Frank, this has been like on the back burner for some time, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, like months. I don't know how. I've been sitting on I've got one episode. You have two recorded, right?
We're going to scratch the second one because we're just kind of it's coming out soon. So
yeah, but it'll be fun. Anyways, that's an update on the channel, but local news around here has been interesting lately. So what happened was Kroger, they're closing our Krogers, which is fucking it sounds like a weird thing it's devastating to the community, I think.
It really is. Yeah.
Like I have to go to Walmart or
Lima, right?
Or Save-A-Lot. Or there's a few other weird grocery stores around here. I could go to Ada or something, but I always Kroger's is the store I go to. So it's just crazy that it's just crazy they're closing a Kroger's, right? Like, doesn't that seem insane to you?
Yeah, that was my first real job there. You know?
Yeah, we both worked there at the same time. Jordan worked there. There's a lot of people that have been working there for 30 some years. You know, like. Some of those office folks and whatever. And it's funny because they're moving them to different stores, which are like an hour away, which cannot be worth it at all for whatever they're paying them. But the thing that happened was, since this is a big news story that came out, evidently the local radio station decided that they thought the store I work at was going to close. And they this was a news story. I'm not going to say the name of the store I work at, but is not closing. Was the headline of the story I saw posted. I'm like, well, shit, why don't you just put the Kenton McDonald's is also not closing. And here's a few other things that never were in and this news story was based on rumor. There was a rumor going around amongst the community that the news had to comment on. Isn't that fucking weird that there's so much misinformation in this community that the news has to be like, listen, this shit ain't happening. Stop saying it. It's just crazy. I don't know where it came from.
Hey, this just in: Tractor Supply will stay open.
Yes.
Will stay open.
How about Menards? I hear that's a big deal.
Menards is gone.
Oh shit! They took over Menards. Yeah, but I think
that was a big deal when Menards came to town, wasn't it?
Yeah, we don't have a Menards.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, we don't. Actually, almost all of the lumber. We used to have a Carter Lumber that's closed up. There's a few places, but the Menards wouldn't even work here. I don't think we got. We got a O'Reilly Auto Parts. That was kind of a step up. We already had two other auto parts.
I was saying, you guys have 15 auto parts stores there, and no good mechanics.
They all go to Walmart.
Advanced Auto Parts. We had Safe Auto.
I tell you, when I lived there,
that's insurance.
Safe Auto's an insurance.
Safe Auto's insurance. It's not a place to buy car parts.
When I lived there, they only had one auto place that you could take your car that was reasonable.
Yeah, that's still the same way.
And I don't understand it. I'm like, you got all these auto parts stores. Was everybody fixing their own car? I don't know shit about these cars nowadays. I can't change a carburetor in this thing if I had to save my life. It's got fucking computers in it and stuff.
We have a hybrid. So and we just had a light pop on in our car that says what checks the hybrid system. What's that mean? Check the hybrid system. I bet I take it to any of these mechanics around here, and they're like, "What to fix that? Oh shit! I got a charger to work on back there." Like they don't know about hybrid systems. They're still trying to grasp the concept of a black person having rights.
So is that like a chicken mixed with a goose? Is that what a hybrid is?
Yeah, kind of.
Son, your hybrid's running all funky. What you got to do is you get in there, see, there's a squirrel inside of it. See? And you got to replace the squirrel every 7,000 miles. Don't you know that?
That's funny.
Thank you. I just wrote that. That's for you guys.
Don't steal it. Well, what are you drinking there, Ray? What's the beverage you got?
A Little Kings.
Oh, you're still on the Little Kings kick?
I want to get sponsored by them, so I'm going to do it every time. Little Kings. It comes in a small bottle, but it packs a big punch.
Comes in a small bottle, makes you feel like a big man. That should be their slogan.
It fits my tiny hands.
Look how small it looks. He's a giant.
I'm not. I'm just keeping it.
The choice of the older generation.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. I'm not even there, man. I'm just straight up cola. See how sad I'm gonna fucking be? I'm gonna be so sad when I can't get my big K cola.
Oh man.
Frank's like, cola, it's in me.
I like my products to say the thing directly.
Right.
But I will say though, with Kroger, they have like kind of like a knockoff of what is it? LaCroix, but it's like soda based. And I think I've had their like cola seltzer, and it actually was really good.
Oh, I can't get into that stuff. It's like one of the comedians that came on the Grammy show had like said it perfectly. He's like, all these seltzer waters are like water with that's been haunted by the flavor of raspberry. It's like just barely there, like some of them are very bad also. But there's a lot of products that are coming out that this is one of the topics I wanted to talk about. There's a lot of foods that are trendy, or products that are coming out that I can't get on board with. Like, my feelings on those Pabst coffee beers. I won't even fucking
a little bit later I might just grab one just to spite you,
I'm glad you enjoy them. But
more for me, man. More for me.
Yeah. But here's some things I want to run by you to see what you guys think about it, and if you've even tried it. What about kombucha?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of that? Have you ever tried it? Anybody?
Isn't it just peas?
Kombucha? No.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it smells and tastes like someone took a dumpster and turned it on its side and like drained it out into a cup, and it's like fermented or something. When you open it, it's like it like. What is it? It's a fermented garbage drink. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. It's supposed to be good for your stomach. It's got like probiotics in it or something.
So is it like that Australian or British like fermented gunk? What is it called? Oh my goodness! Now I'm having a brain fart. What is that fermented stuff that they put on toast, like in Australia and all that stuff? Marmite.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff is terrible.
Kombucha is a fermented, lightly effervescent, sweetened black and green tea drink commonly consumed for its supposed health benefits.
No.
So, it's real weird, man.
So is it like a greenish opaque color? Or?
There's all kinds of different flavors of it. Is the thing. Like, let me pull it up here and I'll show you some pictures of it.
I mean, if people want me to eat a salad and shit in a glass and blend it up for them, I'll do it. I got time. But I mean,
it's like this, and you can make it at home. Like you ferment it. It's a fermented weird fart drink.
Sounds like something that Soviet Russia would enjoy. Where's Russian Dave, by the way?
yeah, he needs to get in here. He probably knows all about this shit.
Oh, hell yeah, he does.
It was funny because I'm pretty sure he was on here earlier. I hopped on and there was some terrible rap going on. So I just left and came back. But he was sitting here. I'm pretty sure I saw him in the corner. And I was like, oh, well, I can't talk to him, so I'm just going to leave and come back. And now he's not here.
But here's some other things that are trendy or have been trendy. Sri Rasha. Do you guys like that?
I've never heard of that.
You've never had Sri Rasha?
It sounds like is it like a Moroccan dish or something like that?
It's a chili sauce that has
sriracha.
Is that how you say it? It's spelled Sri
sriracha.
Sri.
Yes.
You tell him this is like
sriracha.
a Worcestershire or Worcestershire or Sri Rasha, whatever the fuck it is.
You were like sriracha.
Sriracha. It's how it's spelled, dude. Sri Rasha. I'm gonna say it like it's spelled, dude.
They've got it on every food truck here in Columbus. Every one of them has it.
We actually have a large bottle of it, like in the kitchen right now.
Yeah,
the Rooster is the best one. Yep, that's the one right there.
Yeah,
it is not for me, man. And we had like bibimbap. Is that what it was?
Oh, bibimbap.
Bibimbap,
yeah. And it had that involved. And then what is that cabbage called?
Oh, kimchi.
Yeah, that stuff was
I love kimchi.
Awful.
But
as well.
I like kimchi.
As a cook, that's like my
yeah. You're like a foodie, aren't you, Trent?
yeah.
Well, what don't you like about sriracha? Is it too much heat for you? Or?
I don't like the chili. I don't like the smoked thing about it.
Yeah, it has like a Chipotle-esque type of red sauce.
It's got something about it that
it's pepper.
I like hot
peppery.
sauce. I like hot sauce as long as it's reasonable and it's not some shit like ghost pepper or habanero or a regular ass hot sauce is fine with me. But
not the scorpion sauce there.
I wouldn't try that.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't eat whatever those noodles were that you guys had.
Oh God, no. That's like, yeah. Just pass on that one too.
Yeah, and I found out after you guys did that that is like a trend thing. People
are you serious?
Those on video? Oh yeah, on YouTube, it's really popular to eat that specific brand of noodle, like the one with the chicken on it or whatever.
If you would have seen Jay's face eating that, he was like looking up like.
yeah, you can hear it. He's like, I gotta take a minute, like he has to step back and like get his shit together.
Like whenever I eat something hot, like it's usually a cough first because it's like my mouth and like the surrounding elements is trying to adjust. But you can tell if it's hot when I start hiccuping, and I believe on that episode I just instantly started hiccuping.
That's funny shit
because it was just hot.
So what do you guys feel about avocado?
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not for me. Can't do it.
Not for you.
Can't do it, man. It's fucking weird.
Oh man, avocado is like heaven.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to back in when I used to drink a lot. I used to go into Taco Bell and get the 7-layer burrito and extra guacamole, which I used to like it back when I was that drunk. That's how drunk I was. I didn't even realize. I didn't know.
You want to hear? Go ahead though.
I also didn't know it was vegetarian. I thought I was eating meat this whole damn time, and it was not. But regardless,
I'll tell you what. What you should do with avocado. Hopefully, this will be like a game changer. What I've done, what Sarah and I have done in the past, like you get like you put like toast. You get toast, right? Like a thick toast. and then you slice like thinly, not really thin, like I don't know, like maybe fingers cuts of like the avocado, put it on that said toast, and then there's like everything but bagel. You put that on there and
Yeah,
you
we
eat
have
it.
that
Oh my god,
seasoning. That's what my wife
it's
does.
heavenly. Oh, it's heavenly.
You put avocado on with that bagel seasoning. And red pepper flakes.
Oh man, oh man.
Funny, I paid $8 for that exact thing at a restaurant the other day. So
yeah, you shouldn't do that because avocados are only like $1.25
I know.
or something.
Well, actually, if you go to Aldi, you can get a really good deal, like cents almost.
Yeah.
And also another thing we do, we've only done it once, but you get the avocado, you cut it, and then because it has like that little dip from the seed or pit, you crack an egg, you put that in the oven.
I don't know, man.
See, Ray knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I will eat all of that. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm in the minority there. What about kale, huh? You eat kale?
Oh, I eat kale all the time, man.
Man, you got to really do some shit to that to make kale work.
That photo that I actually uploaded a photo on my Facebook, and that was actually kale.
Oh, yeah?
Let me see if I can find it.
I had a kale smoothie. I did not like it.
I don't think I've ever had that, no.
I've had it several different times, and it's just, I don't know. Whatever health benefits are there, it doesn't.
Hey, Frank, are you able to pull up that photo real quick, or?
I'm on your page. Let me see what I can.
It's on my Facebook.
Oh yeah, here it is.
I can make some like greens per man.
Make them purr, baby. There you go. So, what do you got here? This is got a little.
So
saute.
what that was originally was probably 20-ounce ribeye, and we like browned it, then we put it in the oven for about 3 minutes on each side, pulled it out, let that sit, and then we just dumped with all the rendering of the fat and all that stuff with the kale, and that's what it is. So it's delicious.
It looks like something those people that nobody made contact with yet would eat.
It's one of those hipster type of foods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see some of your stuff. I'm like, I would eat that. I would eat the hell out of that one. I was like, not kale. Not kale. I mean, I like. Don't get me wrong. I like collard greens, and I'll eat the shit out of that. I'll put some malt vinegar on that, and maybe malt vinegar would make kale work. I don't know. Maybe.
Got one thing that I will say about kale, it's very starchy. If you want it to have like that collards greens taste to it, let it cook for a while. Yeah. Then it would get like soft and kind of like that greens. Now I love greens, man. Now that's where it's at. Collard greens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
What is it? Glory mixed greens. In the can, the best stuff right there.
I usually get them from my Kroger, my dying Kroger. I get them from the fresh section, and you boil them.
Oh, you got the real deal.
Yeah, you boil them for 3 minutes, then you take them, drain them out, throw them in a frying pan, whatever you want to put in there with it, and then like I said, vinegar, malt vinegar, boom, 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 do it up.
I gotta try because I've actually tried collard greens like your way. And I fuck it up every single time. Like, it's always too salty because one of the recipes that I saw is like, okay, well, you just chop it up, put it in the pan, and then just put like broth, chicken broth in and cook with that. And every time I do that, it's really salty, like instant salt.
I've never.
Maybe I'll try the boil version.
Yeah, just boil it and then put regular salt in the pan with it. That'd be because that's probably what it is. That chicken broth is like. Really,
it's just
actually
too intense.
The way that Frank's talking about, that's how my grandmother used to do it. I'm sure that's probably how his. Yeah, that's kind of the southern way of doing it.
No, I didn't know that.
I think southern women can just take any green plant and throw it in a frying pan.
Absolutely,
they would eat like dandelion greens and all kinds of shit. Like go out in their yard and just pick the dandelions.
My aunts would go out along the side of country roads in Hardin County and come back with trash bags and be like, "We're gonna eat good this weekend," and I'm like. Jesus, what are we having? Like, you picked all the grass out there? What are you doing? But it was Oh, amazing.
I've
Yeah.
always
I know
liked
you
it.
could like make wine out of dandelions too.
Oh yeah, probably.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'd be something to
Not
look
that I've
into.
done it yet.
Yeah.
That I don't know how that would taste. That might be rough. That might be a rough one. But what else did I have on here? Hummus.
Oh, love it.
Love it.
Love
Especially
it.
red
Damn.
peppers in it.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Man.
They've also you can put, okay. I've actually made hummus a few times.
Hmm.
I've made what is called fake guac hummus, and all it is just hummus, and then you put cilantro, and then it turns green, so it has like
Mm,
that guacamole field texture to it. Amazing.
right. I accidentally bought hummus not too long ago. I was very pissed off. I'll tell you how this happened. I didn't know they made chocolate hummus.
Yes,
And
it's yes.
they
Mhm.
put it in by the strawberries and it looked good. And I should have known because the brand was what's that fucking brand? Sabra. It was Sabra
Sabra.
brand. All I saw was it was chocolate and it was next to the strawberries. I'm like, fuck yeah, chocolate dip. And I got home and I was like, maybe it won't be, maybe it won't be bad. And then I dipped it and I was like, oh, and
Kind of has like
what
that gritty,
I
like dark
it,
chocolate taste
it,
to it.
well, the
I feel
chocolate
like
taste was fine. It was that it still tasted like what the fuck is the thing that is in hummus? What is that? Bean,
Oh,
chickpea.
I call it
chickpeas.
butt beans because they look like little butts.
Yeah, chickpeas.
I
There's
feel
no,
like
Garbanzo, yeah.
we haven't let Jordan answer. Do you like that, Jordan?
what?
I feel like we've skipped you for like
Oh,
3
you're
times
right.
now.
I was,
Okay. I'm like,
I've never had
do
it.
you enjoy that as well or no?
I've
Let's
never
go
had
through
it.
them. Let's go through
Oh,
them.
Okay.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But one thing that I will say about hummus, have you guys ever had baba ganoush before?
No.
I've heard of it.
So,
I've never had it.
what baba ganoush is, it is the eggplant version of hummus. So instead of
Oh man.
using garbanzo beans, you use eggplant. But I
I've
will
only
tell you
had
this:
I've
this
only
is
had
actually
eggplant one time and I did not like it.
I can make a mean eggplant, but one thing that I have discovered. So when we were living in Hilliard, like right off Hilliard, Rome, there's like a little Greek place. I think it's called like the Olive Tree or something like that, or the
I've
Olive
seen
Branch.
that.
I can't remember. But we tried their baba ganoush, and I'm like just devouring. Like this is amazing. All of a sudden, like my lips turned numb,
Oh no.
and I'm like, uh oh. I was allergic to something that they put in there, and
Oh
my mouth
god.
Oh.
swelled up, and like my tongue was all numb, and it was terrible.
Well, did you find out what it was that was that hit you?
Well, it wasn't the eggplant because I can eat that
Right.
like all the time. I don't know. I just stopped eating and never had an issue with it again. So
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
crazy. I would have been like, get the ingredients out here. I want to figure this out. This is bizarre.
that's like uh oh. But
But
that's all I got. So
just to be concise about this, let's go through it for Jordan. You've never tried kombucha, right? You've never Sri Rasha
sriracha.
Sriracha.
Yeah.
Never had that. Avocado you don't like.
I hate it.
Oh,
Kale and hummus. Okay,
Well, I recommend sriracha and hummus, Jordan.
put them together.
On your next grocery list, write that down.
Okay.
All right.
So, the last thing I have to talk about is some weird shit that happened to me via Domino's. Through this pandemic, we've been ordering a lot of Domino's. Not that we weren't already doing that, but it's so easy. And they drop it off on your porch. And you don't have to talk to anybody. You can order it through the app. If you can follow it right to your house. But what has happened is I'm in a weird Twilight Zone sort of situation with them right now because they can't, not the last time we ordered, but the time before that, it was raining really hard, right? And when the guy came, he dropped it on the porch, and I went out and got it, but it was in between rain spurts. So he dropped the pizzas off, and I went out and grabbed them and came back inside. But then I noticed there was one that was missing. So I'm like, what the hell am I going to have to call? But then I saw him pull in and he left the whole delivery bag and everything on my step with the pizza in it because it was raining really hard and he didn't want it to get soaked. But he didn't want to like get my attention. He didn't want to get in trouble, I'm sure, for whatever. So the weird. So he leaves this bag, and I leave it on my front porch because it's not mine. I don't own that. And I shouldn't feel. I'm not gonna take it up to Domino's and be like, hey, well, thanks or whatever. I figured I'm gonna order from them again relatively soon, and they can pick their bag up. So we ordered again, like, I don't know, a week later or something like that, and we eat a lot of Domino's. But, so this dude comes. His name is Daryl. Is that what it was? Daryl. This kid, right? I knew it was Daryl because it told me on the when his car was coming on the screen of my computer. And so I see him pull in. He knocks on the door, I think is what he did. And I peek out through the window, and he doesn't see me. And I'm like, because like we don't use our front door, so it's like a whole thing where I'm like looking out the window, like trying to get their attention. And so he in the instructions on the delivery, I said leave it on the front steps, and there's a empty bag there, right? That is Domino's bag. So he should be putting this together. It's not that difficult. So I don't see him anymore. His car's still there. So I go around to the back door. He had knocked on the upstairs apartment's door and got that guy involved in this whole situation. And then that guy told him it's probably theirs, and he came to the correct door. And I slide the thing open, and I'm like, just set it down. I said, just set it down, no contact, whatever, this whole thing. I'm really enjoying it. Don't fuck it up for me, Daryl. And so then I close the curtain, and I'm kind of like waiting for him to leave. Like, this is how anxiety ridden I am about everything. So I'm waiting for him to leave, and I peek out, and I don't see the food anywhere. And then I look out the front door, and he's gone. So I go out, and and he had left the bag there. He didn't take it with him. So now I still have this fucking Domino's bag. He left the pizzas next to it and didn't take the bag. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah.
It's just deliver it back to them or something.
You just leave it there, and then the next guy, maybe when you get his attention, you go, "Hey, also take your extra bag."
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
fucking Daryl, man.
Is it like one of those like thick bags, like to keep everything hot type of ordeals?
Yeah, it's sitting out there on my porch. It'll sit out there. I'm not bringing it in my house.
I've been ordering a lot of DoorDash, Frank. So they'll like drive from any restaurant and drop it off, but they do this thing where they want to take a fucking picture of it and send it to my cell phone. So to prove that they dropped it there. Yeah. So I'm usually, because the same thing, it'll tell you right when they're there. So I'm usually watching them out the peephole, take a picture of my food and sending it to my cell phone. So what I try to do is right when they're taking it is open the door up real fast and yell thanks and grab it.
Oh, that's
they get real mad too. Oh, okay, well, all right, bye. Because they're in the middle of trying to do it. It's all fucking hard.
I stopped early on in the COVID. Like, we were doing a lot of DoorDash, Uber Eats, things like that, and everything was going fine and dandy, yada yada, until like recently, like the last few weeks, like they've been fucking up our orders. We've gotten things missing. So we just kind of said, fuck it, we're done.
I've had that happen twice. One time they brought me, and my name is Randy in real life, guys. They brought me somebody's meal that said Kakesh. and not even close. And I opened it, and it was this was from this Italian restaurant called Piata. And it was the opposite of everything. I ordered a Piata bowl. This was a salad, and there's no way to get a hold of anybody. Like they had some breadsticks, but it was like weird ones that I didn't want. And I ended up eating this food I didn't want because I was starving, and I don't know who the fuck Kakesh is.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. But man, I haven't had Piata like since we moved to Pickerington. I miss that place.
It's pretty great.
Oh man.
But they really fucked my order up. And then another one, they brought me a milkshake, but they must have drove it around for 9 hours first.
like water.
Yeah, pretty much, it was just milk. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of restaurants are having a hard time, and businesses like that. But because like I went through McDonald's not too long ago, and I've never had this happen before, where I got up to the window and they give me part of my order, and then the girl goes, "Hey, this we made this drink extra. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "I guess." And then she closes the window and fiddles around for a little bit, and then pops out again. "We made this one also extra. Do you want it?" And I'm like, I guess. Like, what else are you gonna hand me? I've already got. Or actually, if I knew you were gonna do this, I wouldn't have ordered drinks or whatever. It would have been. But
Yeah, no kidding. I'll tell you what, fast food, if you want to call it fast food, man, we've been getting a lot of Dunkin' Donuts. Like their refreshers, strawberry refreshers. Their wake
I
up
do like
wraps.
that place a lot. Yeah.
Oh man, they're so good and they're cheap.
So
Super
Frank,
cheap.
our McDonald's here, I went there 2 Saturdays ago in the morning, and they're doing this thing where they want you to round up to help the McDonald's house people, the Ronald McDonald people.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's fine. My sister had to stay there when she had her kid, so I can do that, right? Well, there were so many cars, they were doing it by car models. Okay, so I get up there, and this kid, he's like 12, and he leans out and he goes, "You got the Chevy Malibu?" And I go, "Do I look like I'm in a fucking Chevy Malibu? It's a 2009 Cobalt." And he goes, "Cobalt?" I was like, "Yeah, a Chevy Cobalt. Malibu." That's why I said. I went, "No, a Cobalt is a different fucking car than what you're talking about. They don't even make them.
A Cobalt when you see
They don't. Well, they don't make them anymore, man." I go, "So no, that's not a fucking Malibu." He goes, "Well, we actually rounded yours up for the Malibu, so it's got to be you." And I went, "I don't care at this point." I go, "I don't fucking care, dude. Just here's my card. I'm fucking done with this conversation." I get up there. They hand me this great big bag of food. I'm driving down the road. It's all breakfast shit. And but I had ordered a cheeseburger and stuff. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I'm like looking through it. I'm like, I did. And then so I look at the receipt. Yeah, they charged me $14 for some Chevy Malibu car.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I had like $4 worth of food. So I end up eating it because, again, I was hungry.
That's exactly what I would have done. I would have just fucking bit the bullet and ate it.
I went home and I ate all that breakfast food, but the whole time I was eating it, I was like, I didn't drive no fucking Malibu.
And I didn't want breakfast either, god damn it.
I don't want flapjacks. I wanted a cheeseburger.
It's like, this McGriddle's pretty good, though.
What time was it? It was 11 at night?
It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. So it was right when breakfast was changing over.
I was going to say, what psychopath orders breakfast food like that? McDonald's at 10 or whatever.
The one over here by my house is off of a freeway, so it's pretty much like constantly doing hamburgers and breakfast.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter. But it was so weird, and I'm like, why? There was a guy in a tie out there directing traffic. I go, what was his purpose if he fucks up everything? Is he there to make sure it runs right? It was so infuriating. I hate going out. That's the one thing now. Because I'm staying inside so much now. I'm looking around like people are listening, but I fucking love staying inside. I don't want to interact with people anymore. I hate it.
Yeah, you had an interaction with somebody in a parking lot not too long ago, didn't you?
Oh God, yeah. I don't know if this happens to you guys, and Trent, because you're in the city too. You probably more than I, or the same amount. But every time I go to Walmart on Hilliard Rome, every time.
Oh, I after I've been there like a handful of times, I stopped going there. But
yeah, some guy will run up and start fucking asking me questions and like foaming from the mouth every time.
I'll tell you what. The last time that I was at the Hilliard Rome Walmart, this was 2 years ago, maybe now. Like, we were going in there, and this random like kid just runs up to us, and we like turned around. And he just like was like this close,
Right.
and this is pre-COVID, and I'm like, what the hell? I think that kid was trying to like pickpocket us.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Well, so I'm loading my groceries in. This is fucking 5 o'clock too, not late at night. 5 o'clock. I'm loading my groceries in. I turn around and this guy is just there. He's just fucking just right here. And I went, whoa. I go, what the fuck do you want? And he goes, Sir, do you have a minute? I'm in a real bad spot. And I went, get the fuck out of here. I don't have I don't fucking want to talk to you. Today's not the day. I'll bite your fucking lips off.
I'll tell you what, that Hilliard Rome Walmart, the first time, it was like definitely a culture shock because before, not being like a snooty person, but before I lived in Dublin, and moving down to Hilliard was a whole nother experience that I wasn't used to. So like Sarah and I, we were going in and we're like, why is like the electronics like gated? Like they actually have walls around every like electronic because it's that shady of an area.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Do they have like extra security shit on like the laundry detergent and stuff? Because
they've got that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like after like we were there just a handful of times and we're like, never again. We decided to go across the street to Meijer. And we've been like Meijer shoppers ever since. Now in Pickerington, it's not like that at all. Canal Winchester, it's kind of shady. I would say kind of shady.
I got so mad that I called on the receipt. I got the receipt out, and I called, and I said, I want to talk to the manager right now. And they go, well, what seems to be the problem? And I went, I don't fucking want to talk to you. I want to talk to the manager of the store or whoever's on duty right now. They get this guy on, and I explained everything, and I go, look, if this was a one-off, I'd let it go, okay? But every time I come to your fucking store, I walk out and some weirdo is asking me about money for some shit. Like, can I spare some change? Or trying to tell me a goddamn story that's full, that makes no sense so they can feed their drug habit. I go, you have security. Right. You have security there. And when they come in, they're in the door frame. Have them walk out in the lot once in a while,
And it's kind of the main reason, in my opinion, is that the Columbus has like the bottoms and the hilltops. Have you guys heard that before? It's it's like the 8 Mile of Columbus. It's like, or over the Rhine of Cincinnati. It's very questionable, but they take pride. If you're the hilltop, they take pride because they're above the bottoms because they're on the hill. So they like look down upon those on the bottoms, but the hilltop is like actually bordering like Hilliard, and then like here's Hilliard, here's the hilltop, and then right here's Grove City. So the hilltop divides. They're going to go to the cheapest area, so they're going to go to Walmart. So it's either the one on Hilliard Roman or the one in Grove City. So that's unfortunate about the Walmarts.
It's weird that they're going to Walmarts though. You'd think that they'd want to go to some place
like Aldi or like dollar store.
No, I'm thinking a more upscale where there'd be more affluent people that give them money. Maybe I don't know, what's
Macy's.
a nicer shop? Like a I don't know.
Giant Eagle.
Giant Eagle, Target. Yeah, I mean, they all have problems. This whole area, Frank, if you ever get to come up someday, you'll see it's just on both sides giant shopping plazas.
Yeah.
The whole road. So they just basically start where the freeway is and work their way down and back as much money as they can.
Yeah, the best thing that I can like, it's like Hilliard Rome Road is like the cable road of Hilliard.
Yeah.
That's probably or Elida Road. It's that type of bigness.
It's all these businesses all together, and then it's neighborhoods.
Yep.
And so they get off the freeway, park their shitbox car, and then start walking around. Oh man, I just need like $3. Just give me like $3, man. I can get back on the road. I got to get my babies. Like one time, guys, I'm not exaggerating. This was at midnight at the same Walmart. It's Christmas time. Lady comes around in a van, and she's like, "Sir, I'm coming out of Walmart. I got a shopping cart full of food." She's like, "Sir, my children are really hungry. I don't have any money to feed them.
Man,
can I get like $4?" And these kids in the fucking van. Can I get like $4 so I can take them over to McDonald's and get them a McDouble? And I went, you know what, ma'am? You're in luck. I just bought a whole bunch of deli sandwiches. I'll give you the whole bag. It was Christmas time. I was feeling generous, and I felt bad because I believe. She goes, "Oh no, I prefer money."
Yeah,
and I went. Then fuck you and your kids.
That's exactly like that scene from Scary Movie where the chick tries to give the guy a sandwich, and he's like, "Fuck your sandwich," and he like.
I had a bag of assorted $6 deli sandwiches. I was gonna give her. And she went, no, thanks. We want McDonald's.
Ray, maybe you should start like shopping off Cemetery Road.
I think I should. I'm just as cheap as these fucks, though. I'm trying to get the best deal over here. I hit Aldi's last week, so.
Okay. We used to go to the Aldi's on Cemetery. That was actually pretty decent. Like we never had. Like I remember going to the Aldi's in off Cemetery, and the guy was like trying to promote his YouTube, and he was like a gamer. And it was like we could, like be very familiar with the coworkers there. And they're like, "Oh, hey, you're back with more avocados." We're like, "Yeah."
Eat that and watch my YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly. And we did. We checked them out.
Randy, when that happens to you again, like I don't know if this is immoral to do this or not, but would it be wrong to pretend that you're deaf?
I've actually done something similar. One time I was walking in the same Walmart. They had a Girl Scout cookie set up.
Oh, yeah. I avoid eyes straight ahead.
And I didn't see him. I was fucking looking at my phone, and I hear, sir, and I look up, and I go, no English. And I kept walking.
No English.
That's the exact moment that I pull my phone out and pretend like I'm looking at it. Yeah. And walk right on by. Nope.
One time the Boy Scouts were there, and they were selling popcorn for $10. And I went, the guy goes, it's going to go to their camps and future and stuff. This is clearly before all the rape shut them down. But the guy's like, well, it goes to a good cause. And I go, how about I give you $5, and then when I come back out, you guys don't bother me. And his face got all red, and I just laid $5 down and kept walking.
I'll tell you what, man. I went into, when we still had a Kmart here, I went into that place, and there was a table set up there. Some Christian group was there, and I felt like I was being generous, so I was like, here's $20 to your Save the Children or whatever you're doing fundraiser. And they're like, well, take an item from the table. They had all these things I didn't want there, and they're like, here, take this keychain. And they gave it to me, and it was this keychain that was one of those like a rape keychain, like you pull it and it like a sonic alarm goes off. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I put it on my keys, and at one point I was getting into my friend's car, and the fucking thing popped off and went under the seat, and the only way to turn it off is to put that piece back on it. And the thing is sonic. It's like burning into your ears and your brain, and this piece is under the seat and I can't get it, and it's in a car, so it's amplified. Like, it was the craziest thing ever.
It's like fingernails to chalk type of
ridiculous. But anyways, anything else going on, guys? Anything on your mind?
Can I say one thing real quick?
Sure.
So 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Not again, but prior.
Oh, what? That'd be terrible.
the anniversary, right? And I don't think I guess I wanted to bring this up to you guys, or just tonight in general, and talk about it, because I never really think big picture stuff when 9/11 rolls around. You start to think just about you specifically, right, and what happened, and how it affected you, and how it affected your life and our country. Well, I made this post about how I really, on Facebook, how I really miss that feeling of the next couple of weeks where everybody felt like they were unified against something,
Yeah.
without really thinking it through. Because on a friend of mine shared it, and I saw she shared it. I clicked to see what people were saying, and a Muslim person commented on it, and they were like, it was great for you, but it was shit for us.
Oh yeah.
And sure. I was like, man, I actually apologized to her, because she's right. I didn't think big picture. I'm kind of like romanticizing it, right? And basically what happened on that day, and for them, people of Muslim faith, is their entire world changed because we shifted all of our hate and anger towards them directly instead of the group of people, right? And they were ostracized. Xenophobia was on the rise, and we've murdered millions of people in the name of that situation, right, at this point, and who never had anything to do. Some people practice their faith peacefully, some don't. And I felt really terrible about it after it was over. So I think next year I'm not going to say anything. I kind of want to get your guys' take. Like, I think
How
next
about
year I'm
this?
just going to go, 9/11 happened, and I'm just going to let it go as another day.
Actually, Ray, you brought up a good point. Do you guys remember what you were doing when you found out? Like
Vividly.
I was actually a freshman in high school, and one of my buddies, Brian, he was like, "Hey guys, a World Trade Center!" Like, "Oh, go fuck yourself," because we had no idea. I was in gym class. I'm like, "Let's play some kickball,"
Right.
and then like at that next period, I was like, "Oh shit," because we were in like, I just remember my history teacher, like she was crying, and like we were just watching the news, and it was just nuts,
Yeah. I worked at Sam's Club in Lima, and I had pulled a third shift to help out, and I was in bed, and my mother, I lived in Alger in an apartment, and my mother came over. She lived in McGuffey, and she's knocking on my door, and I open it up, and I'm like, "What? You could possibly warrant this? Like, what's your deal?" And she's like, "We're under attack," and I'm still foggy from sleep.
Oh man.
And I
Oh
went,
no.
"Alger's under attack? Who the fuck would attack us?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, turn on the TV. What's wrong with you? Are you high or something?" Like, I went, "No, I just went to bed, for Christ's sake. I worked 12 hours."
Mhm.
So I turned the TV on, and we sat there for 5 hours and just
watching, yeah.
dumbfounded, watched the towers come down. This is at like 9:30, So, I mean, the towers came down and stuff, and right in real time. The Pentagon, they start talking about that plane that crashed in the field in Pennsylvania. And I'm like, I remember thinking this, and I even put it in my post. Things are never going to be the same, and they haven't been.
No.
Yeah. One thing that I will add with mine, like, again, being a high schooler, like, I was like, what, 14, 15? So, like, the severity didn't really, like, kick in. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, what does this mean, But I was
Right.
like a kid, so.
Yeah. I was I was right out of high school. Like I graduated 2000, so it was I was carefree, and I believe I woke up at our friend Josh's house that day and just went into Kenton. I didn't know shit because we didn't even have cable or TV out there. It was like its own planet out there. We were disconnected from almost everything. We had internet, but it was like 2001 internet. So I drove to Kenton. I noticed when I went past the gas station that the gas prices were crazy. Like that was the only thing that I noticed immediately. I was like $6 or something like that. Like it was nuts for 2001 gas prices. And then I went to our friend's house to play Monopoly, Star Wars Monopoly, and he was watching it on TV, and that fucked the whole day. Like no Star Wars Monopoly happened that day. We just sat there in shock.
Oh.
But Jordan, how old were you when that happened?
I was in kindergarten.
Oh wow,
Wow.
that's crazy.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
Man, he always makes me feel so old.
Yeah. I had a fucking job. I was in charge of people, Jordan.
I had sex
How
with
old
people.
I am? Yeah. I had came across the girl's mouth. But
You had at that time?
I had came
That's
across
pretty
the girl's
advanced
mouth.
for our age.
That was pretty, for me, that was a big deal.
Came across her mouth.
But you're in fucking kindergarten, man, learning your ABCs.
Yeah. Do you remember it at all? Do you remember?
Yeah.
That?
Did they talk about it? How's that? Because that's like, I've never heard this version.
I don't remember, actually. I really don't remember.
When you went home, were your parents talking about it or anything? Do you vaguely remember that?
I can't. I'm not really sure. I think they were upset.
Yeah, they probably didn't discuss it with them.
They didn't talk about it.
When did you actually realize what happened then, if you don't mind me asking?
That's a good question, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something had to have happened, but I just never knew at that time.
Right, but I mean, in school, did they talk about it in a history class at some point or something? No? No shit.
Actually, no.
So when did you become aware of what happened? How old were you? Probably. Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
Are you aware of it? Yeah.
Is this like the Burbs? You hadn't seen the Burbs before?
Yeah. I know what happened.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, but do you remember how old you were when you were like, oh shit, that somebody flew planes into buildings in New York?
I was probably about 9, maybe.
I'll say I'll tell you guys another kind of like weird, bizarre story about 9/11. So, me and my buddy Justin Stuber, we actually we drove to we called it the All American Tour. So we actually went to New York City during like it was like 4th of July, and it was like 2013, 2014, somewhere around there when we went, and they were still cleaning up.
Oh wow.
Still, like they had the whole area like blocked off, right? And so me and Justin, we're like, shit, let's like fucking sneak in. So we snuck in,
Like a
and
caper.
I kid you not, guys, like they were like where one of the trade towers were, like it was like to the basement, and like it was just debris still, and like all the junk was still there, and like it was like this huge hole.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And that was 2013.
Yeah,
And well, Frank talked me out of. I would be in the Air Force right now if it wasn't for Frank. He talked me out. I got all riled up in the nationalism, and I talked to a recruiter. I drove to Dayton, Ohio, for an interview for the Air Force, and Frank here was like, "What are you, fucking stupid? Don't go do that."
it was like this, like you. I forget what happened, the trajectory was, but it seemed like you were having this soul searching kind of thing. I mean, dude, just get a fucking job. Don't go kill yourself. What are you doing? But yeah.
I remember too, like there was a kid that I was riding like a bus with, like school bus, like this was like grade school, and his name was Chris. And after a while, we kind of like growing up, like this was like fourth grade. So up to this time was like 2006, 2007, and we grew apart. Well, my mom, she worked at the school in Shawnee, and her and this Chris guy, his name was I can't remember his name, but his name's Chris. Well, he actually was killed over in Afghanistan. And when that broke the news, they told me, I was here in Columbus, obviously, and I was like, holy shit, and I remember there was like a motorcade, and like they actually drove by like the Shawnee High School, and all the kids apparently were outside as like this motorcade was driving by, and it was like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. It's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's a problem with all that, though. We looking back at it, and now you're like, well, we didn't do anything that defended us as a nation. We went into other countries. Afghanistan was harboring Al Qaeda. I'll give them that. But Iraq, we start picking Saudi Arabia. Out of the 19 hijackers, 15 of them were Saudi Arabian born. So I think it's kind of crazy to think back at how our government used that as a platform to go get oil from other countries.
Yeah, that's when it started becoming political. But it's like the war on drugs too. Like you can't defeat a verb, like the war on terror. Like you can't. It's always going to be around. Like you can't kill it.
Well,
but not taking the severity away, because
Right.
But where do you stop?
Absolutely. And ideologically, here's what happened. Somebody asked me the other day, like, who attacked us on 9/11? Somebody said, and I went, well, that's very simple. It goes in this chain of succession. 19 people funded by Al Qaeda, attacked us, right? Here's the thing about Al Qaeda. We created Al Qaeda. They were just a group of people who wanted to fight against Russians in the 1980s. We gave them training and military aid, and then things got tough, and we backed the fuck out and left them there with all our shit. And the hate of that attacked us on 9/11. That rich kid that lost his entire, whatever you want to call it, your set of values or whatever, because of the defeat of his people, took his anger out on us by using our own weaponry and training and money, basically selling those items to fund an attack on us. So we attacked us.
You're right. And you want to hear something kind of piggybacking up what you just said, Ray? So I have another buddy. He was actually a Marine, and he went to Iraq, and exactly what you're saying. All the we were giving Osama bin Laden all these munitions because at that time, we were against Iran and the Iranian, hostage crisis and all that stuff. So we backed Iraq and we gave him all this military supplies. So my buddy, he went over there and he said it was so bizarre because the tanks and shit that was firing back at him were actually World War II Shermans.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. There's no bigger business in America than warfare. So, maybe pharmaceuticals, but I'm thinking
Probably.
it's warfare and pharmaceuticals. I mean, you got to keep making those bullets. You got to keep making tanks and aircraft carriers.
I read part of it. I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I got a copy of the Quran not too long ago. It's the Punjabi version, which is like
okay, the Hindu. Like the
and just because you start thinking you're like sheltered from all I grew up as a Baptist, okay, so and then I went to a Catholic church once, and I'd been to a Pentecostal church, but I've never been to a Muslim church or worship. I've never been to a Jewish synagogue. So I was trying to read a little bit more about things that I hadn't experienced. But mainly I was trying to figure out why we hate each other so much. And because I have read large portions of the Bible, enough to where I think that I'm versed in it, I would say. I couldn't quote scripture, but
I blame Abraham for the hatred.
Right. But I'm trying to figure out, because you're reading this thing and you're like, it's exactly the same kind of stuff. It's just told by a different version of a deity.
It's just like another. It's like here's the narrow path, right?
Right.
But we're Christians are reading it from this eyesight, whereas Islams are reading through this eyesight, and the Jewish is like that straight line.
Right in the middle,
that's what the Bible, the Torah, the Quran is all about. But now we're going down religious theology.
Right. I just want to say one thing about it. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's like poetry. I've never read anything like it, so I can see right away why it would be appealing to people. Especially, it's like the Bible when you're reading it the first time around. You're like, wait, this guy loves me, and I can just say his name, and he'll help me. I get why they're appealing, but it's very weird to me because it's so similar that I feel like we have so little to fight about. We're so much in common that these fucking people in charge are what makes the problems.
And wouldn't it be weird if that bled into other aspects of life? Because essentially all these different religious texts, you can equate them to this is the Burger King employee handbook. This is the McDonald's employee handbook. This is the Kentucky Fried Chicken employee handbook. And could you imagine if Burger King was banging on McDonald's window with signs that say flame broiled is the way to go, or shit like that.
Right.
Seasoned curlies,
Chicken is sin. Chicken is sin.
I guess Chick-fil-A does take that kind of
It's what's the irony in this whole situation with religion and Christianity? Jesus taught us to love one another, and the whole Old Testament was all these tribes and all that stuff, hating each other and learning from that, right? That was the whole idea. Mm-hmm. And if you think about Christianity today, we're doing the exact same shit as the Old Testament. We're doing everybody hates Catholics, everybody hates Protestants. What don't you? They're not learning,
Right.
But it's humanity.
It should be a general. If you find something like that, if you find a religion that helps you get through your life in a more comfortable manner, good for you.
Yeah.
Because I have no faith in any of that stuff. And it would be nice sometimes to have that kind of thing, to be like, oh yeah, but I still got Jesus. So, and I just don't have that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see why people can't just let people live and be happy if they can manage to do it, because it's very hard. So
no kidding.
But I didn't want to get so deep. I'm sorry I brought it up, but I just wanted. It was one of those things where I was eye opening. I thought, this young lady makes a very good point here. I romanticized this day when it shouldn't be romanticized, you know. So
Yeah, that's why I used to not do anything on 9/11 except for the stupid edgelord thing of posting Happy 9/11 every every year. I thought it was funny because it is really funny to say that to somebody. If you say it to them, they never know what to do because people do sometimes make it like a kind of holiday that it shouldn't really be. It's all right. Remembering something is different than making it.
One thing that I will say, the band that probably, and that's another interesting thing about 9/11 is that's when country music just went up because that was like about patriotism. But I will say the best, and I actually don't own this album, but and Sarah's probably going to laugh at me when I say this, but probably the best album that would depict that time is probably Green Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, American Idiot.
Yes, that is the defining album of exactly. It's a rock opera. Like that's
I agree with you. I love that album.
It is a good album. It's a great album, and that's probably exactly what everybody was going through during 2001.
Green Day gets a lot of shit, but I went through and listened to like most of their catalog not too long ago, and I like all of it. So
they're good.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that get shit on a lot. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. They make quality music.
Probably because they're not sellouts. Maybe, I don't know.
Right? They do. They've been doing what they want since the beginning.
Well, people call them sellouts. They say they went mainstream and they're supposed to be a punk band.
And Blink-182 didn't.
Right.
I think it's just that their tastes change. You can't. It's like the older I get, the more I understand now. I used to think the same thing. When I was in high school, I'd listen to the Stones like early shit, and then I'd be like their new shit from the '90s, bunch of fucking sellouts, But your tastes change. You want to try new stuff. You can't always be the fucking Ramones, even though the Ramones were the Ramones.
It's
the Ramones sold out too, though. I mean, honestly,
they wanted to. They even said like, we want to fucking sell out. We want to sell out stadiums.
I will say this as a quote. I watched a Beastie Boys documentary like a few months ago, and somebody called one of the Beastie Boys a hypocrite because, you're a seller, you're a hypocrite. And his comeback was like, okay, so I'm a hypocrite because I'm changing my thought process. So instead of like going straight the same way, that would be a very boring life to live. So if you call me a hypocrite, then call me a hypocrite for living my life how I would.
Right. When I think about Green Day, though, like that kind of pop punk sound that they do is very hard to transition into an older stage of that. And I think they've done it. I think they've managed to do it eloquently. Whereas if you look at
like Avril Lavigne,
no, not Avril Lavigne. What is that fucking band? They were really popular.
Sum 41.
No, in that.
I'm going to get it because that was like my genre.
Newfound Glory.
Okay.
They just came out with new music. Look it up. I'm not going to play it here because we'll get a fucking violation. But look it up and then enjoy the laugh you're going to get because they're still really trying to pull off that teenage angsty pop punk, and it doesn't.
Billy's 50 years old. Could you imagine if he just kept doing Dookie over and over again? Yeah. Masturbation's lost its fun. Yeah, dude, you can't get a boner. I get you're 55 years old.
Just think of like the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger aged people singing that same music when they're like 70, 80s-year old, That's,
it's weird, and so I think it's cool that they try new shit. I hate when people go, their whole sound changed. Well,
yeah. Well, and
they've been a band for 25 years.
Here's another thing. Like everybody says that, but think of a very iconic band, the Beatles. Their sound also changed. The great thing about the Beatles is that they changed with their generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Beatles though, I don't like as much of them as I like Green Day because there's things that I really like that the Beatles did, and there's stuff I don't. like I think a lot of the stuff on Yellow Submarine can be
Oh, yeah, that's
slapped
bad.
right
Oh.
off. You can cut a lot of stuff off of Sergeant Pepper's too that I'm not really big
Yeah.
on. But you know,
I will-
Revolver is front to
Mhm.
back excellent.
Great.
The White
I
Album,
do
of
love a
course.
White Album. And the funny
Um,
thing about the White Album, it plays almost like a Beatles radio station, in my
Mhm.
opinion, because every song is Beatles and
Mhm.
it's unique and it plays like a radio station, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
the White
What's
Album
a-
is the most iconic because that's when they were like the most
Mhm.
hating each other. And that's when Yoko Ono was there and like Paul's like trying to play like back in the USSR. It's like, and then like George is like, hey Yoko, can you get the fuck off my amp? And that's what he said. Like, I
Oh my
need to
God.
turn me up a little bit. Can you get the fuck off?
Mhm.
So it was that. Like, that's how. And then they were trying to play a band together at that same time. It.
Yeah. She was. I'll tell you, she's a nightmare.
Have you guys ever seen that George Harrison documentary
Yes, on HBO.
on HBO? Oh my God, it's
Amazing.
fantastic. But I love some of the old interviews right after the breakup with George. He
Oh, yeah?
had no fucking filter.
No,
He's
he
like,
didn't.
oh yeah, I didn't fucking like her or the stupid shit we were doing. Every time I wrote a song that I knew would be number one, Paul's like, no, I write my own stuff, you know? Like he's so fucking bitter and goes on to kill it.
Yeah.
I love George. He was amazing.
I
Imagine,
have
though-
All Things Must Pass album. That's a great album too.
It was a good album, yeah.
Imagine though, you know, we used to hang out with several different bands. Trent, you're in a band. There's a dynamic there with band girlfriends. A lot of times, band wives and stuff. They sometimes get along, sometimes they don't get along. But there's always a weird thing. Imagine if this lady was coming around. I'm gonna play a little video here. Imagine if this lady was around.
And the thing about it is, and she thought she was just as good as the Beatles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she was like, "Oh no, I have things to offer. Here's this."
She's contributing artistically.
And the sad thing is that like there are songs where she's playing that, and there's poor Eric Clapton just like playing, just like watching her. Like, am I really here? Is this really happening?
Right. I owe these people for whatever reason.
Like if you go to YouTube and just like find something that she was singing and just read the comments, they're worth the read.
I mean,
No. We'll give her
it's just-
credit. The one thing she did do was create her son.
Oh,
who
Sean.
is finally making music I enjoy
Oh,
with the
Les
Lennon
Claypool.
the
Mhm.
Lennon Claypool delusion or whatever it's called.
Delirium.
Yeah, crazy great. But
Mhm.
I like that too. Yeah. But yeah, it's weird, like to think of her giving input. Like, hey guys, maybe a little of this.
Well, did you
I
ever
wonder-
hear about one song? "Woman is the N word of the world." Have you ever
Oh
heard
Jesus,
that?
yeah.
It's a John Lennon Yoko Ono combo. Maybe I can play that without it getting.
I'm telling you, it's awful, guys. If you've never heard it, you're gonna just be. Ugh.
It's a statement, for sure. But I gotta get to the singing portion because there's a lot of bullshit where they explain the song and the meaning of it.
So Frank's gonna go to the other contents.
Here we go. Here we go. I got it here. Yeah.
Oh. Sounds like they turned her mic off or something. No kidding.
I don't
No
know if she
way.
sings. Oh yeah, man.
She's tapping the tambourine or whatever, the bongo.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can even hear it. It's like her like mic's off.
I don't know if she's singing or not. Do they have a mic set up for her?
Yeah, they had a mic like on her bongo.
Oh yeah. But I think she helped him write this song more than anything.
That's crazy.
Because, you know, I mean, even as persecuted as women are, I don't think you can steal racism Can you? Can you just
No.
take it? Like
I really don't even think that would be considered racism. Maybe sexism, maybe. Maybe. Genderism?
I just remember the first time I ever heard that, and I went, "Why would he do this? Like, what would possess him to do this?"
That's her artistic influence, man.
To appease Yoko.
She must have been a good lay.
Had to have been. He said that his favorite work ever was the album they released together, which is like, are you kidding me? Do you not remember? I mean, anything else that you've done? Even that old, the oldies stuff, the really, really old.
I mean, they went to India and hung out with a guru for like 6 months and just got high every day. That was your friends, like your best friends in the world. I want to do that right now. I mean, come on, that sounds amazing. And they're like, and he's like, oh no, that time I spent with Yoko in that room, all by ourselves, coming up with this.
Yeah, I guess like when they were like filming and recording, like she would just like crochet in the corner and they would just do their thing, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's funny because they were all married, and I don't remember any of their other wives coming in and going, "Hey guys, maybe you could do the drums with a little bit more hi-hat."
Yeah,
maybe some throat singing. Anyways, we should probably wrap this up, guys. Anybody have anything else to say? Jordan, you got a lot of stuff to say. I know you've been holding it in all episode.
Hit it with us. What's up?
What's going on? NWO Wolfpack.
Oh yeah.
What's going on in Jordy's world, man?
Got online.
Yeah. You just been hiding there in Dunkirk. What's the Dunkirk report? You got you were telling me about you had a motorcycle guy you were dealing with.
Yeah, well, my dad dealt with it actually.
Explain. Elaborate.
It was like a half hour before I came home.
And what happened? There was a guy pushing a motorcycle. What were you saying?
Off of it.
He fell off of it.
Dude, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was drinking or something like that.
Yeah, they both were.
Was the arm like?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Well, where his house is, I don't know if you're familiar with Dunkirk, but
I know there's a drive-in, and I mean that's where my buddy lives over in Dunkirk. So.
Yeah, there's like he lives like catty corner from the gas station that's right there when you enter on
like
68.
on the square. Oh, okay, near the cemetery in that area.
Yeah, it's right after the cemetery.
Okay.
But they have this stoplight there that there's always accidents. Like not too long ago, like maybe a year or two ago, like a semi blew right through a house. Like it went right through a house right across the street.
Kidding.
Yeah.
The guy was asleep, right?
Yeah.
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 But
heart attack, I don't know.
There's always people wrecking right by your house. It's got to be the hot spot in Dunkirk there.
Well, Jordy, what's the job sitch? You got a new job yet? No. That sucks, man.
Fuck jobs, man.
Sorry.
I see you got some guitars back there too, eh?
Those aren't real.
Yeah.
It's a backdrop.
Got trim. That's the only thing I use in here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, let's end this, guys. I want to thank you all for joining me on this, and thanks for everybody who is listening. We'll have a new What the Fuck Did I Just Watch coming up. We'll have a new Getting Learnt coming up. I don't know what else. I knew something about sports is going to be coming up. The last round.
We're gonna do a new Schlockfest too towards the end of the month. So.
And we have Deconstructing Bill Murray, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
That's coming later this month too.
And with me and Jay, I think we're going to do something next weekend. I don't know. We'll see. But one thing that I will add, not to put another Henodus plug. Did you Henodus us?
Oh, that's
wow.
Good. I like that.
Josh came up with that one. But we were on the Super State show this past Thursday, and if you haven't taken a look at that, please do so. We jammed hard.
Yeah,
I can't wait till things get back to normal. I want to come see you guys live.
Well, Ray, I'll tell you what. Since you're in the Columbus area, you're more than welcome to stop by the third floor studio, have a beer with us, sit back, chill, be our Yoko.
Man. Yeah. I might add a little bit of my magic to some of yours.
Just put a little. Well, the good thing
bring a triangle.
Yeah, guys, have you ever thought about putting this in?
I will say, we do have an acoustic set and an electric set, so you would have an instrument.
Nice. All right.
You would have an instrument.
Hey, I got an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, bring it. Bring it, man.
I know how to play like 3 chords. So
one thing that I will say. Well, we can talk about this after this because I know Frank's like trying to push that stop button.
Yeah. Stop recording.
I mean, yeah, we'll be doing some stuff. We got things coming down the pipeline, and hopefully, eventually, we will be able to do some cooler stuff. Because we were getting ready to plan a fucking music video. We were gonna do all kinds of shit. But
speaking of which, our drummer Josh, he has a Christmas album out.
Oh yeah.
Called Holiday Office Party. Check it out on Spotify.
It is hilarious, and I think it is my favorite Christmas music ever. To be honest with you,
we are making a we're in pseudo process right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already sent you clips already.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna do you remember those ads they'd have for like Southern rock or whatever? It'd be like Leonard Skinner, and they'd have people dancing in the ad, and they would have little clips. It's gonna be kind of like that, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Anyways, we're ending this. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, see you, man. See
you guys. See you, man. It was good seeing you.